What's up everybody, Trinity here, and welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and talking about Powers of X, issue number 5. But before I get into that, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. So, Powers of X, issue number 5, it's here guys, it's here. I mean, we're so close to the end here of this kind of rebooting of the X-Men in the Marvel Universe. And I've got to tell you guys, I've really liked this series, although you know, the Powers of X series has kind of thrown me off a little bit, just a little from what's going on in the House of X, and you know, just how these two tie in. It's just, I don't know, because this story like jumps back and forth a little more as we learn just kind of more and more of the plot going forward as things are finally getting ready to be concluded here in this series. I mean, like I said, I don't know, these ones are, you know, the Powers of X, they kind of throw me off a little bit, but this one brings in a little more, you know, it kind of makes me feel like maybe I'm following the story close enough and maybe I actually do get what's going on. Now, this book is being written by Jonathan Hickman, and the artist is R.B. Silva, and Marte Gracia. See, I'm sure I still butchered your name, Marte, is the color artist, and VC's Clayton Cowles is the letterer. And it's the design is by Tom Mueller. And the X-Men was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So again, guys, this is issue number 5. Only 2 issues left. One House of X next week, and then one Powers of X the week after that, and then it's all done. And I've got to tell you guys, if you guys haven't been keeping up with this series, you may not want to keep watching here in just a few minutes as I go into and start talking and kind of spoiling some of the story that's going on here. But I've got to tell you, I've really liked this series. Jonathan Hickman doing a great job writing it. And the art in this book has been really good, and you know, it kind of changes, just kind of changes tone at different points. You know, I really, you know, I'll show you some of it right there. You can see just how some of the art has been in this book, and it's kind of, you know, really great. You know, we get to, you know, even let's see, where's another good. This is another good one too. You know, right there. The art in it has been great. The coloring, absolutely great. I have no complaints when it comes to the story, to the art in these books. It's been really good. Jonathan Hickman's kind of had us, you know, kind of on edge, you know, kind of wondering what's really going to be going on. And, you know, the thing is like all of these issues, all these 12 issues that have been coming out, they're really just kind of like, I don't know, how would you say, like maybe a prelude to what's getting ready to come with all the spin-offs and everything. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Do you kind of feel that way? Like, I don't know. Or maybe it's an intermediary between the history that's been going on and what's going to be going forward. I don't know how to take this series. All I know is that I've really enjoyed it. And if you guys aren't reading it, I'm not sure what's wrong with you. You guys need to go and check out this series. It's been pretty exciting. Like I said, Jonathan Hickman's kind of left us wanting the next issue after every single one. And this one is really no different because in this one we see that, now this is where I'm going into spoilers, folks. We're going to get in and talking about this this book. And, you know, I remember hearing people say, you know, towards the beginning that the Powers of X may not be as important to read going forward, you know, through the House of X and Powers of X series as they've been coming out. And I've got to say, I don't know, man. I'd be really lost with a lot of the things that are going on in this book without it. Because we get a lot of exposition in these books. We kind of learn background information. And I know if you've watched some of my past videos where I've been talking about this, or just some of my other videos where I've talked about, you know, some of these pages that I think are kind of filler pages and stuff we don't need. Some of the pages I think are very relevant. Some of them are have a lot of filler. Like I said, like this right here, to me, you know, when you open this up and you have this whole page with all this, just all that with that, I don't like it. It's really unnecessary. And then, you know, you open up, you know, you get the next page with all of this stuff. You got 2 pages of us, you know, telling us who the creators, the writers, and all this stuff are, and all, you know, just all that stuff they put in these, like 2 pages of that. I mean, that's already 3 pages, guys. It's already 3 pages, and that's really been my only complaints on these issues. Aside from the fact, like I said, I think, you know, they could have got rid of, you know, a lot of these kind of pages like that, where they're just kind of giving us, you know, like that stuff right there, you know, the reading order. I just kind of feel like that stuff doesn't need to be there. They could have cut it back, you know, another one right there. You know what I mean? They could cut back on all that stuff. These things could be less pages. These books could be $3.99 and still get everything that we need in them. That's my only complaint or real criticism about these books. But I've got to tell you, this book, I thought this one was a little more informative. Like I said, these ones have been kind of thrown in there in a way that I'm almost confused, but I feel like I'm getting it. But we see in X-Men, in year 1, or what is it, year 10, I believe. Yeah, year 10. No, year 1 of X-Men, we see Xavier going to Forge and asking him, what it's going to take to create what he needs. He needs a new version of Cerebro, and he asks Forge, what do we need? And he tells me, basically we need an unlimited power source and a way to store that much information. And the information we're talking about here, in case you have been keeping up with the story, is all of the mutant DNA and all of their memories and things, and keeping it backed up. And we see him, Forge, telling Xavier exactly what it's gonna take. And he says, "Man, it's gonna take a lot for just one." And then you're gonna think that you're probably gonna want a backup. So we're talking about a lot of energy and a lot of storage here. And Xavier tells them exactly what they've got and exactly what their plan is, and says, "You know what? I understand what you're saying here, Forge, but I need 5 of them." Okay, and then we get a little bit more exposition about exactly the different versions of Cerebro and kind of how they've evolved. And then we also get a little bit more story on exactly how Xavier, when and how often they back up the memories of all the mutants using Cerebro. And we also get the timeline about how long it takes for each time they want to do those backups, which we know is obviously going to play an important role at some point in these books. Probably by the end of this, we're going to understand, a little more why they're telling us that, why they do it this often and it takes this long. We learned that, they back up once, the one of the times they backs up. They do a backup every so often. It takes X amount of time, and this is going to play into something very soon. We all know it is, in case if you're reading this series. And then we fast forward to, I think, 10 years. X1 in 10 years later. Year 10 of the X-Men. We see Xavier and Eric going to Emma Frost and basically asking her, telling her about Krakoa and exactly what they're doing, and asking if she'll come in and help, basically help set up their government, and offer her 2 spots on the government. And she asks for 3. So, we don't know who the third one is. I'm sure, if you know who that is, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe you already do, because maybe you know a little bit more about the X-Men lore than I do. But they ask her to go ahead and take over, offer her a spot on their government in helping build it. And we see that they have no plans for government necessarily. Like, they want to get one started to kind of govern Krakoa, with no real plans of how long it's gonna last. And that's something that's kind of covered in here, as well, as she go ahead and bargains, kind of for, her bargaining for go ahead and helping them out and joining them in their cause, as she's kind of confused about exactly what's going on. And then we see that, after she pretty much agrees to help them do this, we see that Xavier goes and uses Cerebro to communicate to all mutants out there, and basically tells them, like, "Hey, guys, come to Krakoa. Come home. You're all welcome here. All mutants. You're welcome here. You have a home here. Please, this is an open invitation for you to come here to this, our protected place. This is your home." And he tells them all to come. And then we see he actually has a confrontation, and it seems like, he sends out a little bit more of a personal invitation to Namor, as we see him going to Namor, and they're having a kind of a discussion. And you guys know Namor, kind of how he's a little set in his ways, and he doesn't give in to Xavier during this plea. He says, "Nah, I'm good. You go right ahead and do what you're gonna do." And then we fast forward to year 1000, and this is kind of something that I thought was coming a while back, where and it's been kind of building up with the Phalanx and the Ascension and everything of that. And we see here that the Phalanx are really a problem, and they're basically like techno-organic, I take it. Like, it's pretty crazy. And to me, that's something that I was thinking was coming anyway, where the mutants and the humans, they're both of their problems are eventually going to become this AI and these robots and things like that, who are designed basically to keep improving themselves. And we see that's kind of what's going on out there in the universe, as we get more exposition about everybody's place in the world, like be that with Titans, and not the beings Titans, but the societies of Titans, strongholds, and dominions, and kind of just how a lot more of that plays out here. And A lot more stuff that's still, like, without the whole scope of the picture, is still really kind of confusing to understand. I won't confess to know everything that's going on in these books, man. I'm no expert, but I can tell you, like, just through that and everything that's been going on, I feel like I still have, kind of an understanding of what's going on here. It's so weird. And yet I feel like I don't know much. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, have you guys read this issue yet? Have you read Powers of X issue number 5? If you have, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Also, let me know what your theories are going forward if you have any. Like I said, I'm still kind of new to all of this. I'm not as familiar with the X-Men as you might be. So let's go ahead and hear your theories down there, because I don't really have any to offer. That's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, give it a thumbs down. It's all good. But make sure you leave some comments down in the comments section. And also make sure you share this video with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. You all have a very good day. Happy reading. Get out and support your local comic book shop. And we'll see you in the next video. Later.